In the heart of a dense jungle, there lived a magnificent tiger named Theo. Theo was not like other tigers. He was known far and wide for his bravery and his daring adventures. One day, as Theo prowled through the thick underbrush, he stumbled upon a group of animals gathered in a clearing, their faces filled with fear. They explained that a ferocious dragon had taken up residence in their jungle, terrorizing the inhabitants and wreaking havoc wherever it went. Without hesitation, Theo knew he had to do something to help. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, he called upon the other animals of the jungle to join him in a daring adventure to confront the dragon and reclaim their home. As they set off through the dense foliage, Theo's courage guided them through the tangled vines and towering trees. He led the way with unwavering determination, his eyes ablaze with the fire of bravery. With each step forward, Theo's bravery inspired the other animals to stand tall beside him. They journeyed through the jungle, their hearts filled with hope and anticipation for the battle ahead. As they reached the dragon's lair, they were met with a fearsome sight. The dragon's fiery breath lighting up the sky and its massive claws tearing through the earth. But Theo refused to back down. With a mighty roar that echoed through the jungle, Theo charged forward, his bravery unmatched by any adversary. The other animals followed suit, their determination burning bright as they faced off against the dragon. In a fierce battle that raged throughout the day and into the night, Theo and his allies fought bravely against the dragon, their courage shining bright in the face of danger. With every swipe of his claws and every roar of defiance, Theo inspired the other animals to fight with all their might. And in the end, it was Theo's bravery that prevailed. With a final leap and a mighty roar, he delivered the decisive blow that sent the dragon fleeing into the depths of the jungle, never to be seen again. The animals cheered and celebrated Theo as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the triumphant tiger, the brave hero who saved their jungle from the clutches of the dragon. And as the sun rose over the jungle, casting a warm golden glow across the land, Theo stood tall and proud, knowing that with bravery and determination, anything is possible. In a lush green garden filled with vibrant flowers and towering trees, there lived an inspiring inchworm named Ivy. Ivy was not like other inchworms. She was known far and wide for her adventurous spirit and her ability to inspire others to follow their dreams. One sunny morning, as Ivy was inching her way along a winding vine, she heard a faint cry for help coming from the other side of the garden. Curious, she hurried over to investigate and found a group of butterflies gathered around a fallen caterpillar, their wings drooping with sadness. The caterpillar explained that he had always dreamed of flying like the butterflies, but he was too afraid to take the leap and transform into a butterfly himself. Without hesitation, Ivy knew she had to help. With a brave heart and an adventurous spirit, Ivy called upon the other insects of the garden to join her in a daring adventure to help the caterpillar achieve his dream of flight. As they set off through the garden, Ivy's inspiring words and adventurous tales guided them along the twisting paths and hidden trails. She led the way with unwavering determination, her eyes shining with excitement for the journey ahead. With each step forward, Ivy's courage inspired the other insects to overcome their fears and embrace the unknown. They journeyed through the garden, their hearts filled with hope and anticipation for what lay ahead. As they reached the edge of the garden, they encountered a towering oak tree with branches reaching up towards the sky. With a determined spirit, Ivy and her companions began to climb, their tiny legs carrying them higher and higher into the air. With each branch they scaled, Ivy's adventurous spirit shone bright, encouraging the other insects to follow her lead. And finally, after much effort and perseverance, they reached the top of the tree, where a beautiful butterfly awaited them. With a gentle touch of her wings, the butterfly transformed the caterpillar into a magnificent butterfly, his dream of flight finally realized. The other insects cheered and celebrated Ivy as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, Ivy was known as the inspiring inchworm, the brave hero who helped others achieve their dreams through her adventurous spirit. And as she watched the newly transformed butterfly take flight for the first time, her heart swelled with pride, knowing that her bravery had made a difference in the lives of others. In a quaint little forest nestled between two towering mountains, there lived a tiny sparrow named Sarah. Sarah was known far and wide for her selfless nature and her unwavering bravery. One day, as Sarah was flitting from branch to branch, she overheard a group of animals discussing a great danger that threatened their home. A massive boulder had become dislodged from the mountainside, poised to roll down and crush their beloved forest. Without hesitation, Sarah knew she had to do something to help. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, she called upon the other animals of the forest to join her in a daring adventure to save their home from destruction. As they set off towards the mountains, Sarah's selflessness guided them through the dense undergrowth and winding paths. She led the way with unwavering courage, her eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of danger. With each step forward, Sarah's bravery inspired the other animals to follow her lead. They journeyed through the forest, their hearts filled with determination to protect their home from harm. As they reached the base of the mountain, they were met with the sight of the massive boulder looming overhead, threatening to come crashing down at any moment. With a determined spirit, Sarah devised a plan to stop the boulder and save their forest. With a mighty flap of her wings, Sarah flew up to the top of the mountain, her heart pounding with fear, but her resolve unwavering. With every ounce of strength she possessed, she pushed against the boulder, using all her might to keep it from rolling down and destroying their home. As she strained against the weight of the boulder, Sarah felt her strength begin to wane. But just as she was about to give up hope, she felt a gentle breeze ruffle her feathers, lifting her spirits and giving her the strength to carry on. With one final push, Sarah managed to stop the boulder in its tracks, saving the forest from certain destruction. The animals cheered and celebrated her as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, Sarah was known as the sacrificing sparrow, the brave hero who sacrificed herself to save their home. And as she watched over the forest from her perch atop the mountain, her heart filled with pride, knowing that her selflessness had saved the day. Once upon a time, in the heart of an ancient forest, there lived a wise old owl named Ollie. Ollie was not just any ordinary owl. He was known far and wide for his wisdom and integrity. His nest, nestled high atop the tallest oak tree, was a place of solace and guidance for all the creatures of the forest. One sunny morning, as Ollie was perched on a branch, contemplating the mysteries of the world below, he heard a faint cry for help. Without hesitation, he spread his wings and soared towards the source of the distress. Deep within the forest, he found a young rabbit named Robbie trapped in a thicket, surrounded by thorns. With a gentle touch and a few wise words, Ollie helped free Robbie from the thorns. Grateful and awestruck by the owl's bravery, Robbie begged Ollie to teach him the ways of courage and adventure. Ollie saw the spark of potential in Robbie's eyes and agreed to mentor him. Together, they embarked on a series of brave adventures throughout the forest. They rescued stranded birds, outsmarted cunning foxes, and even braved the depths of a dark and mysterious cave. But amidst their adventures, Ollie never forgot the importance of integrity. He taught Robbie that true bravery came not only from facing danger, but also from staying true to oneself and doing what was right, even when it was difficult. As the seasons passed and Robbie grew into a brave and noble rabbit, he realized that his greatest adventure was not the dangers he faced, but the lessons he learned from Ollie about integrity, compassion, and friendship. One day, as the sun set on the forest, Ollie gathered all the woodland creatures beneath his tree. With a proud smile, he announced that Robbie was ready to embark on his own journey, spreading courage and kindness wherever he went. And so, with the wisdom of the wise owl in his heart, Robbie set off into the world, ready to face whatever adventures awaited him, guided always by the integrity instilled in him by his beloved mentor, Ollie the wise owl. In the rolling hills of a picturesque countryside, there lived a loyal llama named Lily. Lily was not like other llamas. She was known far and wide for her unwavering loyalty and her courageous spirit. One day, as Lily was grazing in the meadow, she heard a distress call coming from the nearby village. Rushing to investigate, she found the villagers gathered around their homes, their faces filled with fear. They explained that a fierce pack of wolves had descended upon the village, threatening to attack their livestock and destroy their homes. Without hesitation, Lily knew she had to do something to help. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, Lily called upon the other animals of the countryside to join her in a daring adventure to protect the village from the marauding wolves. As they set off through the fields and forests, Lily's loyalty guided them through the winding paths and hidden trails. She led the way with unwavering determination, her eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of danger. As they approached the village, Lily's keen senses detected the scent of the wolves on the wind. With a fierce determination, she rallied the other animals to stand together against the approaching threat. With Lily leading the charge, they launched a brave attack against the wolves, driving them back with their sheer numbers and unwavering loyalty to the village. In a fierce battle that raged throughout the night, Lily and her allies fought bravely against the wolves, protecting the village with all their might. With every kick and spit, Lily inspired her fellow animals to fight with all their strength, their loyalty unmatched by any adversary. And in the end, it was Lily's unwavering loyalty that prevailed. With a final charge that sent the wolves fleeing into the darkness, she saved the village from certain destruction. The villagers cheered and celebrated Lily as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, she was known as the Loyal Llama, the brave hero who protected their village with her unwavering loyalty. And as the sun rose over the rolling hills, casting a warm golden glow across the countryside, Lily stood tall and proud, knowing that with courage, determination, and unwavering loyalty, anything is possible. In a lush green meadow, surrounded by towering trees, there lived a trusty tortoise named Timothy. Timothy was not like other tortoises. He was known far and wide for his unwavering trustworthiness and his courageous heart. One day, as Timothy was plodding along the meadow, he stumbled upon a group of animals gathered in a circle, their faces filled with worry. They explained that a precious treasure had been stolen from their village, and they didn't know who to trust to help them retrieve it. With a determined spirit and a brave heart, Timothy knew he had to do something to help. He called upon the other animals of the meadow to join him in a daring adventure, to track down the thief and return the stolen treasure to its rightful owners. As they set off through the meadow, Timothy's trustworthiness guided them through the winding paths and hidden trails. He led the way with unwavering integrity, his eyes scanning the landscape for any sign of the thief. With each step forward, Timothy's courage inspired the other animals to trust in his leadership. They followed him through the thick underbrush and across babbling brooks, their faith in his trustworthiness unwavering. As they approached the edge of the forest, Timothy's keen eyes spotted a glimmer of light through the trees. With a determined stride, he led the other animals deeper into the forest, following the trail of clues left behind by the thief. And finally, after many hours of searching, they came upon the thief's hiding place, a dark and foreboding cave hidden deep within the heart of the forest. With a steady resolve, Timothy and his companions ventured into the cave, ready to confront the thief and reclaim the stolen treasure. In a daring showdown that echoed through the cavernous depths of the cave, Timothy and his allies faced off against the thief, their courage shining bright in the face of danger. With each step forward, Timothy's trustworthiness and bravery inspired the other animals to stand tall beside him, their faith in his leadership unwavering. And in the end, it was Timothy's trustworthiness that prevailed. With a clever maneuver and a courageous leap, he outsmarted the thief and reclaimed the stolen treasure, returning it to its rightful owners in the village. The animals cheered and celebrated Timothy as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the trusty tortoise, the brave hero who proved that trustworthiness and courage go hand in hand. And as the sun set over the lush green meadow, casting a warm golden glow across the land, Timothy stood tall and proud, knowing that with trustworthiness and bravery, anything is possible. In a bustling seaside village, there lived a curious crab named Clara. Clara was unlike any other crab. She was known far and wide for her creativity and her knack for crafting beautiful creations out of shells and driftwood. One day, as Clara was scuttling along the sandy shore, she stumbled upon a group of fishermen in distress. Their fishing boats had been damaged in a fierce storm, leaving them unable to catch the fish they needed to feed their families. Filled with compassion and a desire to help, Clara knew she had to do something. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, she called upon the other sea creatures to join her in a daring adventure to save the fishermen and their village from hunger. As they set off into the deep blue sea, Clara's creative mind whirled with ideas. She knew they needed to find a way to help the fishermen catch fish without their boats. With each wave that crashed against the shore, Clara's creativity sparked new ideas. She crafted intricate traps and clever contraptions out of shells and seaweed, using her knowledge of the sea to outsmart the fish and lead them into the waiting nets of the fishermen. As the other sea creatures worked tirelessly to put Clara's creations into action, they marveled at her ingenuity and determination. With each obstacle they faced, Clara's bravery and resourcefulness shone bright, inspiring them to press on in the face of adversity. And finally, after many hours of hard work and perseverance, they succeeded in catching enough fish to feed the village for weeks to come. The villagers cheered and celebrated Clara as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, she was known as the Creative Crab, the brave hero who saved their village with her ingenious creations. And as the sun set over the sparkling sea, casting a warm golden glow across the water, Clara scuttled along the shore, her heart filled with pride, knowing that with courage, determination, and a little creativity, anything is possible. In the heart of the African savanna, there lived a resourceful rhino named Reggie. Reggie was not like other rhinos. He was known far and wide for his ingenuity and his ability to solve even the most difficult problems. One day, as Reggie was grazing on the tall grasses of the savanna, he heard a cry for help coming from the nearby watering hole. Rushing to investigate, he found a group of animals gathered around the edge of the water, their faces filled with fear. They explained that a baby elephant had become trapped in the muddy waters of the watering hole, unable to free itself. Without hesitation, Reggie knew he had to do something to help. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, Reggie called upon the other animals to join him in a daring adventure to rescue the baby elephant from the treacherous waters. As they approached the watering hole, Reggie's mind whirled with ideas. He knew they needed to find a way to lift the baby elephant out of the mud without harming it. With each step forward, Reggie's resourcefulness guided them through the difficult terrain. He crafted a makeshift pulley system out of vines and branches, using his immense strength to hoist the baby elephant out of the mud and onto dry land. As the other animals worked tirelessly to put Reggie's plan into action, they marveled at his ingenuity and determination. With each obstacle they faced, Reggie's bravery and resourcefulness shone bright, inspiring them to press on in the face of adversity. And finally, after many hours of hard work and perseverance, they succeeded in rescuing the baby elephant from the muddy waters of the watering hole. The animals cheered and celebrated Reggie as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the resourceful rhino, the brave hero who saved the baby elephant from certain disaster. And as the sun set over the African savanna, casting a warm golden glow across the land, Reggie stood tall and proud, knowing that with courage, determination, and a little resourcefulness, anything is possible. Once upon a time, in the heart of the African savanna, there lived a majestic lion named Leo. Leo was not just any lion. He was the leader of his pride, respected by all for his wisdom and courage. One day, a great danger loomed over the savanna. A fierce pack of hyenas had descended upon the land, threatening to devour the peaceful animals and plunder their homes. With a roar that echoed across the plains, Leo knew he had to act. With a brave heart and a resolute spirit, he called upon the other animals of the savanna to join him in a daring adventure to confront the hyenas and drive them away. Together, they formed a mighty coalition. Zebras and giraffes, elephants and antelopes, all united in their quest to protect their home from the marauding invaders. With Leo leading the way, they set off across the savanna, their hearts filled with determination and courage. Along the way, they encountered many challenges: raging rivers, towering cliffs, and treacherous swamps. But they pressed on, undeterred by the obstacles in their path. Finally, they reached the hyena's den, a dark and foreboding cave hidden deep within the heart of the savanna. With a mighty roar, Leo and his allies launched their attack, their bravery shining bright in the face of danger. In a fierce battle that raged throughout the night, Leo and his coalition fought bravely against the hyenas, driving them back with each powerful blow. With every roar and swipe of his mighty paw, Leo inspired his fellow animals to fight with all their might, their courage unmatched by any adversary. And in the end, it was Leo's courageous leadership that prevailed. With a final roar that shook the earth, he sent the hyenas fleeing into the darkness, their tails between their legs. The animals of the savanna cheered and celebrated Leo as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the leader lion, the brave hero who led his friends on a courageous adventure to protect their home. And as the sun set over the African savanna, casting a warm golden glow across the land, Leo stood tall and proud, knowing that with courage and determination, anything is possible. Once upon a time, in a lush tropical jungle, there lived an ingenious iguana named Iggy. Iggy was not like other iguanas. He was known far and wide for his cleverness and his knack for coming up with brilliant ideas. One day, as Iggy was basking in the warm sunlight on a mossy rock, he noticed a group of animals gathered nearby, their faces filled with worry. They explained that their jungle home was in danger. A mighty river had burst its banks, flooding the forest and threatening to wash away their homes. With a determined spirit and a quick mind, Iggy knew he had to help. With a brave heart, he called upon the other animals to join him in a daring adventure to save their beloved jungle from destruction. As they set off through the flooded forest, Iggy's mind whirled with ideas. He knew they needed to find a way to divert the raging river and protect their homes from the rising waters. With each step forward, Iggy's ingenious ideas guided them through the treacherous terrain. He devised clever traps and makeshift dams, using vines and branches to channel the water away from their homes. As the other animals worked tirelessly to put Iggy's ideas into action, they marveled at his ingenuity and determination. With each obstacle they faced, Iggy's bravery and resourcefulness shone bright, inspiring them to press on in the face of adversity. And finally, after many hours of hard work and perseverance, they succeeded in diverting the river away from the jungle, saving their homes from certain destruction. The animals cheered and celebrated Iggy as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the ingenious iguana, the brave hero who saved their jungle with his brilliant ideas. And as the sun set over the flooded forest, casting a warm golden glow across the land, Iggy stood tall and proud, knowing that with courage, determination, and a little ingenuity, anything is possible. In the heart of a bamboo forest, there lived a clever and resourceful panda named Percy. Percy was known throughout the forest for his sharp mind and his knack for solving even the most difficult puzzles. One day, as Percy was munching on bamboo shoots, he heard a distressed cry coming from the edge of the forest. Rushing to investigate, he found a group of animals gathered around a mysterious puzzle box, their faces filled with frustration. The animals explained that they had stumbled upon the puzzle box in the depths of the forest, but no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't figure out how to open it. Without hesitation, Percy knew he had to help. With a determined spirit and a brave heart, Percy examined the puzzle box, studying its intricate design and searching for clues. He called upon the other animals to join him in a daring adventure to unlock its secrets. Together, they worked tirelessly, trying different combinations and strategies to solve the puzzle. With each failed attempt, Percy's determination only grew stronger, his belief in his own abilities unwavering. And finally, after many hours of brainstorming and teamwork, Percy had a breakthrough. With a clever twist and a turn, he unlocked the puzzle box, revealing its hidden contents, a map leading to a treasure hidden deep within the forest. The animals cheered and celebrated Percy as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as Problem-Solving Panda, the courageous hero who showed that with ingenuity and perseverance, any problem can be solved. And as the animals set off on their journey to find the hidden treasure, Percy watched with pride, knowing that no challenge was too great for a mind sharp and a spirit brave. Once upon a time, in a lush forest teeming with life, there lived a selfless squirrel named Sammy. Sammy was known far and wide for his kind heart and his willingness to help others, no matter the cost. One crisp autumn day, as the leaves began to turn golden and the air grew chilly, a great danger befell the forest. A raging wildfire swept through the trees, leaving destruction and despair in its wake. As the flames licked at the trees and the smoke billowed into the sky, the animals of the forest fled in terror, desperate to escape the inferno. But amidst the chaos and panic, Sammy knew he had to do something to help. With a brave heart, and a selfless spirit, Sammy darted through the flames, guiding his fellow creatures to safety, one by one. He led them to a nearby river, where they could find refuge from the fire and quench their thirst in the cool waters. But as Sammy raced back into the burning forest to save more animals, he realized, with a sinking heart, that there were still creatures trapped in the heart of the inferno. A family of rabbits huddled in their burrow, unable to escape the encroaching flames. Without a moment's hesitation, Sammy knew what he had to do. With a determined spirit and a heavy heart, he raced back into the fire, his fur singed and his eyes stinging from the smoke. As he reached the rabbit's burrow, Sammy knew that there was only one way to save them. He would have to lead them through the flames to safety. With tears streaming down his cheeks, Sammy urged the frightened rabbits to follow him, promising to protect them with his life. With a fierce resolve and a courageous heart, Sammy led the rabbits through the burning forest, shielding them from the flames with his own body. Despite the searing pain and the overwhelming heat, Sammy pressed on, his love for his fellow creatures giving him strength. And finally, after what felt like an eternity, they emerged from the flames, battered and bruised, but alive. The animals of the forest cheered and celebrated Sammy as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, Sammy was known as the selfless squirrel, the brave hero who sacrificed everything to save others. And as he rested beneath the shade of a sturdy oak tree, his heart filled with pride, he knew that true bravery lies not in seeking glory or fame, but in giving selflessly of oneself for the sake of others. In the vast and scorching deserts of the Arabian Peninsula, there lived a compassionate camel named Casper. Casper was known far and wide for his kind heart and gentle nature, always willing to lend a helping hoof to those in need. One day, as Casper was wandering through the desert, he stumbled upon a group of weary travelers, stranded in the unforgiving sands. Their water supply had run dry, and they were lost and desperate, unsure of which direction to turn. Filled with compassion for the travelers, Casper knew he had to help. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, he offered to lead them on a perilous journey across the scorching desert to the nearest oasis, where they could find water and rest. As they journeyed across the blistering sands, Casper encountered many challenges along the way: sweltering heat, shifting dunes, and fierce sandstorms that threatened to engulf them. But he pressed on, his compassion guiding him through the darkness. At last, after many days of tireless traveling, Casper and the travelers reached the oasis, a shimmering paradise nestled among the dunes. The travelers rejoiced and celebrated, grateful for Casper's bravery and selflessness. But as they rested by the cool waters of the oasis, they spotted a group of nomads on the horizon, their caravan stuck in the treacherous sands. Without hesitation, Casper knew he had to help them too. Summoning all his courage and strength, Casper led the travelers to the stranded nomads, offering them guidance and assistance in navigating the perilous desert. With his steadfast leadership and unwavering compassion, they were able to free the caravan and continue on their journey. The nomads cheered and celebrated Casper as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the compassionate camel, the courageous hero who showed that kindness and compassion could conquer even the harshest of environments. And as Casper wandered through the desert, his heart filled with pride, he knew that no act of compassion or bravery was ever too small to make a difference in the world. In a serene pond nestled deep within the heart of the forest, there lived a wise and patient turtle named Terry. Terry was known throughout the forest for his calm demeanor and his belief in the power of teamwork. One day, as Terry was basking in the warm sunlight on a mossy rock, he heard a distressed cry coming from the other side of the pond. Rushing to investigate, he found a group of animals gathered around a fallen tree, their faces filled with worry. The animals explained that they needed to cross the pond to reach their home on the other side, but the fallen tree blocked their path. Without hesitation, Terry knew he had to help. With a determined spirit and a brave heart, Terry called upon the other animals to join him in a daring adventure to clear the path across the pond. Together, they worked tirelessly, pushing and pulling at the fallen tree with all their might. As they toiled away, Terry's belief in the power of teamwork never wavered. He encouraged the other animals to work together, using each of their unique strengths to overcome the obstacle before them. With each tug and heave, the fallen tree slowly began to budge, inch by inch. And finally, with one final push, the tree splashed into the water, clearing the path across the pond. The animals cheered and celebrated Terry as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as Teamwork Turtle, the courageous hero who showed that by working together, anything is possible. And as the animals crossed the pond to their home on the other side, Terry watched with pride, knowing that no challenge was too great for a team united in purpose and determination. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled at the foot of a towering mountain, there lived a courageous cat named Cleo. Cleo was unlike any other cat in the village. While her feline friends were content to chase mice and nap in the sun, Cleo yearned for adventure and excitement. One day, as Cleo was exploring the outskirts of the village, she spotted the majestic mountain rising high above the treetops. A fierce determination sparked in her eyes as she gazed up at its lofty peaks, her heart pulsing with the call of adventure. With a fearless spirit and a brave heart, Cleo set off on a daring journey to climb the mountain. As she began her ascent, she encountered steep cliffs and treacherous paths that seemed almost impossible to conquer. But Cleo pressed on, her determination unwavering, her spirit unbreakable. As she climbed higher and higher, the air grew colder and the winds stronger. But Cleo refused to give up. With each step forward, she drew closer to the summit, her courage shining like a beacon in the darkness. At last, after many hours of tireless climbing, Cleo reached the top of the mountain. With a triumphant meow, she gazed out at the breathtaking vista below, her heart swelling with pride. But as Cleo looked down from the summit, she spotted a group of lost hikers stranded on a nearby ledge, their faces filled with fear and desperation. Without hesitation, Cleo knew she had to help. Summoning all her courage and strength, Cleo leaped into action. With nimble movements and quick reflexes, she navigated the treacherous terrain of the mountain, reaching the stranded hikers just in time. With her fearless leadership and unwavering determination, Cleo guided the hikers safely down the mountain, bravery shining bright like a guiding star in the darkness. The hikers cheered and celebrated Cleo as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, she was known as the courageous cat who climbed the mountain, a true hero of the village. And as Cleo returned home to the warmth and comfort of her cozy bed, her heart filled with pride. She knew that no challenge was too great for a brave heart and a courageous spirit. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vast and verdant jungle, there lived an empathetic elephant named Ellie. Ellie was known throughout the jungle for her gentle nature and her ability to feel the emotions of those around her. One day, as Ellie was wandering through the jungle, she stumbled upon a group of frightened animals gathered around a small clearing. They were huddled together, their eyes filled with fear and uncertainty. Curious, Ellie approached the animals and asked what was wrong. They explained that a ferocious tiger had been prowling through the jungle, terrorizing the other creatures and spreading fear wherever it went. Filled with compassion and empathy, Ellie knew she had to help. With a brave heart and a determined spirit, she set off into the depths of the jungle to confront the tiger and put an end to its reign of terror. As she ventured deeper into the jungle, Ellie encountered many challenges along the way: dense thickets, treacherous swamps, and towering cliffs that seemed impassable. But she pressed on, her empathy guiding her through the darkness. At last, Ellie came face to face with the tiger, its fierce gaze fixed upon her. Though trembling with fear, Ellie stood her ground, her heart filled with compassion for the frightened creature before her. With gentle words and a kind heart, Ellie reached out to the tiger, offering friendship instead of fear. She listened to its grievances and understood its pain, helping the tiger to see that there was another way to live in harmony with the other animals of the jungle. Moved by Ellie's empathy and kindness, the tiger's heart softened, and it agreed to leave the jungle in peace. From that day forward, the jungle was free from fear, and all the animals lived together in harmony once more. The other creatures of the jungle cheered and celebrated Ellie as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, she was known as the empathetic elephant, the courageous hero who showed that empathy and kindness could conquer even the fiercest of foes. And as Ellie wandered through the jungle, her heart filled with pride, she knew that no act of kindness or compassion was ever too small to make a difference in the world. In a magical garden filled with vibrant flowers and towering trees, there lived a humble hummingbird named Harper. Harper was known throughout the garden for her kindness and gentle nature, always willing to lend a helping wing to those in need. One day, as Harper was flitting from flower to flower, she heard a faint cry for help coming from the edge of the garden. Curious, she followed the sound and discovered a wounded butterfly lying on the ground, its delicate wings torn and tattered. Filled with compassion, Harper knew she had to help the injured butterfly. With a brave heart and unwavering determination, she gently lifted the butterfly onto her back and carried it to her cozy nest nestled among the branches of a towering oak tree. Using her nimble beak and delicate touch, Harper tended to the butterfly's wounds with care and precision, she gathered healing herbs and soothing nectar from the garden, crafting a magical potion to mend the butterfly's broken wings. As the days passed, the butterfly's strength began to return, and its wings slowly healed, becoming even more beautiful than before. And as the sun set over the garden, casting a warm golden glow over the trees, the butterfly took flight once more, soaring gracefully through the sky with Harper by its side. The other creatures of the garden watched in awe as Harper and the butterfly danced together among the flowers, their hearts filled with gratitude and admiration for the brave and compassionate hummingbird who had saved a life with her kindness and courage. From that day forward, Harper was hailed as the hero of the garden, beloved by all for her selfless acts of healing and compassion. And as she flitted from flower to flower, her wings shimmering in the sunlight, she knew that no act of kindness, no matter how small, could ever go unnoticed or unappreciated in the magical world of the garden. Once upon a time, in the shimmering depths of the ocean, there lived a frightened fish named Finn. Finn was known among his fellow sea creatures for his timid nature and his fear of venturing beyond the safety of his coral reef home. But one day, a great darkness descended upon the ocean. A fearsome creature known as the shadow shark began terrorizing the underwater world, casting a shadow of fear and uncertainty over the ocean's inhabitants. Though trembling with fear, Finn knew he could not stand idly by while his ocean home was threatened. With a trembling heart and a determined spirit, he set off on a brave adventure to confront the shadow shark and restore peace to the ocean. As he swam through the vast expanse of the ocean, Finn encountered many challenges along the way: swirling currents, towering waves, and strange and mysterious creatures lurking in the depths below. But with each obstacle he faced, his courage grew stronger and his determination burned brighter. Finally, after a long and perilous journey, Finn reached the lair of the shadow shark, a dark and foreboding cave hidden deep beneath the ocean's surface. With a deep breath, he summoned all his courage and swam inside, his heart pounding with fear and anticipation. Inside the cave, Finn found the shadow shark lurking in the shadows, its cold, piercing eyes filled with malice and hunger. Though trembling with fear, Finn stood tall, his heart filled with bravery and determination. With a fierce battle cry, Finn launched himself at the shadow shark, his fins flashing with determination. The shadow shark lunged at him, its razor-sharp teeth glinting in the darkness, but Finn dodged its attacks with agility and grace. In a mighty clash of fins and teeth, Finn fought the shadow shark with all his might, his courage shining like a beacon in the darkness. With each strike, he drew closer to victory, his determination unwavering, his bravery unmatched. And in the end, it was Finn's courageous spirit that prevailed. With a final blow, he defeated the shadow shark, sending it fleeing back into the depths from whence it came. The other sea creatures cheered and celebrated Finn as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the frightened fish who conquered the ocean, a true hero of the underwater world. And as Finn swam back to his coral reef home, his heart filled with pride, he knew that no matter how small or frightened you may feel, with courage and determination, you can overcome even the greatest of challenges. In the lush forests of Australia, there lived a kind-hearted koala named Kira. Kira was beloved by all the animals in the forest for her gentle nature and willingness to lend a helping hand whenever needed. One day, as Kira was munching on eucalyptus leaves high up in her favorite gum tree, she heard distressed cries coming from the forest floor below. Curious, she peered down and saw a group of animals gathered around a fallen tree, their faces filled with worry. Rushing down from her perch, Kira discovered that the fallen tree had blocked the path leading to the nearby river, cutting off the animals' access to water. Without hesitation, she knew she had to help. With a determined spirit and a kind heart, Kira rallied the other animals to her side. Together, they worked tirelessly to clear away the fallen branches and debris, using their strength and ingenuity to overcome each obstacle in their path. As they toiled away, Kira's bravery and leadership inspired the other animals to join in the effort. From the strongest kangaroo to the tiniest ant, every creature lent a hand, united in their mission to help their friends in need. Finally, after hours of hard work, the path to the river was clear once more. The animals cheered and celebrated, grateful for Kira's kindness and determination. And as they quenched their thirst from the cool, clear waters of the river, they knew that they owed it all to the brave and selfless koala who had led them through their courageous adventure. From that day forward, Kira was known as the kind koala, a true hero of the forest. And as she settled back into her gum tree, surrounded by her friends and filled with a sense of pride and fulfillment, she knew that no act of bravery or kindness was ever too small to make a difference in the world. In the heart of a lush forest, there lived a friendly fox named Felix. Felix was known far and wide for his kind heart and warm smile, and he had a special gift for making friends with all the creatures of the forest. One sunny day, as Felix was frolicking through the trees, he stumbled upon a group of animals gathered in distress. A band of fierce wolves had invaded the forest, threatening to take over their homes and drive them away. Filled with a sense of duty and courage, Felix knew he had to help his forest friends. With a brave heart and unwavering determination, he rallied the other animals to his side, determined to stand up to the wolves and protect their home. Together, they devised a clever plan to outsmart the wolves and drive them away from the forest for good. With Felix leading the way, they launched their attack, using their wit and bravery to outmaneuver the wolves at every turn. In the midst of the battle, Felix's kindness and friendship shone bright, inspiring the other animals to fight with all their might. And in the end, it was their unity and courage that won the day, sending the wolves fleeing back into the depths of the forest. The animals cheered and celebrated their victory, grateful for Felix's bravery and leadership. From that day forward, Felix was hailed as the hero of the forest, beloved by all for his courageous actions and unwavering friendship. And as the sun set over the trees, casting a warm golden glow over the forest, Felix knew that no matter what challenges they may face, as long as they stood together as friends, they could overcome anything. In the icy lands of the South Pole, there lived a plucky penguin named Pete. Pete was unlike the other penguins in his colony, while they were content to waddle along the frozen shores, Pete dreamed of exploring the vast, icy wilderness beyond. One frosty morning, as Pete was gazing out at the shimmering horizon, he spotted a distant mountain peak rising majestically against the clear blue sky. Determination ignited in Pete's heart as he vowed to reach the summit, no matter the challenges that lay ahead. With each step forward, Pete encountered icy winds and treacherous crevasses that threatened to halt his journey. But he pressed on, his determination unwavering, his heart filled with courage. As he climbed higher and higher, Pete faced even greater obstacles, towering cliffs and sheer rock faces that seemed insurmountable. But he refused to give up, his perseverance driving him ever onward. At last, after days of tireless climbing, Pete reached the summit of the mountain. With a triumphant cry, he gazed out at the breathtaking vista below, his heart soaring with pride. But as Pete began his descent, disaster struck. A sudden blizzard swept in, engulfing the mountain in a swirling mass of snow and ice. Lost and disoriented, Pete struggled to find his way back down. Yet, through the howling winds and biting cold, Pete persisted, his determination guiding him through the whiteout. With each step forward, he drew closer to safety, his courage shining like a beacon in the darkness. And finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Pete emerged from the storm, battered but unbroken. With a weary smile, he trudged back to his colony, his heart filled with the satisfaction of knowing that he had conquered the mountain and returned home victorious. From that day forward, Pete was known as the persevering penguin, a true hero of the South Pole. And as he waddled along the frozen shores, his head held high, he knew that no challenge was too great for a brave heart and a determined spirit. In the rugged cliffs of a distant mountain range, there lived a valiant vulture named Victor. Victor was unlike any other vulture in his flock. While they scavenged for scraps of food, Victor yearned for adventure beyond the confines of their rocky home. One day, as Victor soared high above the jagged peaks, he spotted a distant land shimmering on the horizon. Determination sparked in his eyes as he set his sights on this unknown territory, his heart pulsing with the call of adventure. With a mighty flap of his wings, Victor set off on his daring voyage, leaving behind the safety of his mountain home. As he soared over vast deserts and dense forests, he encountered all manner of obstacles, fierce storms, towering cliffs, and even hostile creatures. But Victor pressed on, his courage unwavering, his spirit unbreakable. With each challenge he faced, he grew stronger and more determined, his eyes fixed firmly on the distant horizon. At last, after many days of tireless flying, Victor reached the land he had seen from afar. It was a land of lush green valleys and sparkling rivers, teeming with life and possibility. But as Victor began to explore this new land, he soon discovered that it was not without its own dangers. A fearsome dragon had been terrorizing the inhabitants, destroying their homes and stealing their treasure. Filled with a sense of duty and honor, Victor knew that he could not stand idly by while others suffered. With a fierce cry, he swooped down to confront the dragon, his wings beating with the strength of 100 hurricanes. The dragon roared in defiance, its fiery breath scorching the earth below. But Victor was undaunted. With swift and agile movements, he dodged the dragon's attacks, his courage burning brighter than the sun. In a mighty clash of wings and claws, Victor battled the dragon with all his might. With each strike, he drew closer to victory, his determination unwavering, his bravery unmatched. And in the end, it was Victor's valiant spirit that prevailed. With a final swoop, he delivered a decisive blow to the dragon, sending it fleeing into the depths of the mountains. The inhabitants of the land cheered and celebrated Victor as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as the valiant vulture, the fearless protector of the land. And as Victor soared back to his mountain home, his heart filled with pride, he knew that no challenge was too great for a brave heart and a courageous spirit. In the sparkling waters of a vast ocean, there lived a determined dolphin named Daphne. Daphne was unlike any other dolphin in her pod. While they frolicked and played in the waves, Daphne dreamed of exploring the mysterious depths below. One day, as Daphne leaped and twirled through the waves, she spotted a dark and shadowy chasm looming in the distance. Intrigued by the unknown depths below, she felt a stirring in her heart, a longing to dive deeper than she ever had before. With a determined flick of her tail, Daphne set off on her brave adventure, leaving behind the safety of her pod. As she swam deeper and deeper into the chasm, she encountered all manner of obstacles, swirling currents, hidden caverns, and eerie creatures lurking in the darkness. But Daphne pressed on, her courage unwavering, her spirit unbreakable. With each obstacle she faced, she grew stronger and more determined, her eyes fixed firmly on the mysterious depths below. At last, after many twists and turns, Daphne reached the bottom of the chasm. It was a world unlike anything she had ever seen, a realm of shimmering coral reefs and colorful sea creatures, teeming with life and wonder. But as Daphne began to explore this new world, she soon discovered that it was not without its own dangers. A fearsome sea serpent had been terrorizing the inhabitants, threatening to destroy their homes and devour them whole. Filled with a sense of duty and honor, Daphne knew that she could not stand idly by while others suffered. With a determined flick of her tail, she swam forth to confront the sea serpent, her heart pulsing with bravery and determination. The sea serpent roared in defiance, its mighty coils thrashing through the water. But Daphne was undaunted. With graceful movements and lightning-fast reflexes, she dodged the serpent's attacks, her courage shining brighter than the sun. In a mighty clash of fins and teeth, Daphne battled the sea serpent with all her might. With each strike, she drew closer to victory, her determination unwavering, her bravery unmatched. And in the end, it was Daphne's determined spirit that prevailed. With a final leap, she delivered a decisive blow to the sea serpent, sending it fleeing into the depths of the ocean. The inhabitants of the coral reefs cheered and celebrated Daphne as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, she was known as the determined dolphin, the fearless protector of the ocean depths. And as Daphne swam back to her pod, her heart filled with pride, she knew that no challenge was too great for a brave heart and a determined spirit. Once upon a time, in a dense forest nestled between towering mountains, there lived a bold and adventurous bear named Benny. Benny was known far and wide for his bravery and daring spirit, always eager to embark on new and exciting quests. One sunny morning, as Benny was wandering through the forest, he stumbled upon a group of woodland creatures gathered in distress. They explained that a wicked sorcerer had cast a dark spell over the land, plunging it into eternal darkness. The animals were filled with fear and despair, unsure of how to break the sorcerer's curse. But Benny, with his heart as big as his courage, stepped forward and declared, "Fear not, my friends. I will embark on a brave quest to defeat the sorcerer and restore light to our forest." The other animals exchanged worried glances. "But Benny," they said, "the sorcerer's magic is powerful and dangerous. How can you hope to defeat him?" But Benny was undeterred. With a brave heart and unwavering determination, he set off into the heart of the darkness, his eyes shining with courage. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, Benny encountered many trials and tribulations along the way. He battled fierce beasts, traversed treacherous terrain, and faced countless challenges that tested his strength and resolve. But through it all, Benny pressed on, his determination never faltering. He knew that the fate of the forest depended on his bravery and courage. At last, Benny reached the sorcerer's lair, a dark and foreboding castle nestled atop a jagged cliff. With a steady breath, he stepped inside, his heart pounding with anticipation. The sorcerer, a wicked figure cloaked in shadows, sneered at Benny's bravery. "Do you truly believe you can defeat me, little bear?" he taunted, his voice echoing through the halls. But Benny stood tall, his eyes ablaze with determination. "I may be small," he said, "but I have the courage of a lion and the heart of a hero. I will not let you bring darkness to our land." With a mighty roar, Benny charged at the sorcerer, his bravery shining like a beacon in the darkness. The sorcerer unleashed his dark magic, but Benny was quick and nimble, dodging his attacks with ease. And in the end, it was Benny's courage that triumphed over evil. With a final blow, he vanquished the sorcerer and shattered the darkness that had enveloped the forest. The animals cheered and celebrated Benny as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, he was known as Bold Bear, the brave protector of the forest. And as he basked in the warm glow of his victory, Benny knew that no matter how dark the path may seem, with courage and bravery, light will always prevail. In a shimmering pond nestled deep within the heart of the forest, there lived a small and unassuming frog named Freddie. Freddie was unlike any other frog in the pond. While his fellow amphibians were content to stay within the safety of the water, Freddie longed for adventure beyond the pond's edge. One moonlit night, as the stars twinkled in the sky above, Freddie found himself gazing longingly at the dark expanse of the forest beyond the pond. A fierce curiosity stirred within him, and he knew that he could no longer resist the call of the unknown. With a fearless leap, Freddie ventured out into the forest, his heart pounding with excitement and anticipation. Along the way, he encountered all manner of creatures, from wise old owls to playful squirrels, each with their own tales of bravery and adventure. But as Freddie journeyed deeper into the forest, he soon came upon a clearing where a group of woodland animals had gathered in fear. A fearsome wolf had been terrorizing the forest, preying upon the smaller creatures and leaving destruction in its wake. Though Freddie's heart raced with fear, he knew that he could not turn back now. Summoning all his courage, he stepped forward and declared, "I will put an end to this tyranny and protect the forest and all who dwell within it." The other animals exchanged worried glances. "But Freddie," they said, "you're just a frog. How can you hope to defeat a wolf?" But Freddie was undeterred. With a brave heart and unwavering determination, he set off into the depths of the forest, his eyes shining with determination. As he neared the wolf's den, Freddie could feel the hairs on the back of his neck standing on end. But he pressed on, his heart filled with courage. At last, he reached the wolf's den, where the fearsome creature lay in wait, its eyes gleaming with hunger. Without hesitation, Freddie launched himself at the wolf, his small frame pulsing with determination. The wolf snarled and lunged at Freddie, but the fearless frog was quick and nimble, dodging its attacks with ease. With each leap and bound, Freddie fought with all his might, refusing to back down. And in the end, it was Freddie's bravery that won the day. With a final leap, he sent the wolf fleeing from the forest, never to return again. The other animals cheered and celebrated Freddie as their hero, showering him with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, Freddie was known as Fearless Frog, the fearless protector of the forest. And as he hopped back to the pond, his heart swelling with pride, he knew that no matter how small you may be, bravery will always light the way. In the heart of a picturesque meadow, there lived a lively and determined rabbit named Rosie. Rosie was known far and wide for her boundless energy and indomitable spirit. She loved nothing more than racing through the fields, her ears flopping in the breeze and her heart pounding with excitement. One sunny day, as Rosie was practicing her sprinting skills, she heard whispers of a grand race taking place in the nearby forest. The competition promised to be fierce, with animals from all corners of the land coming together to test their speed and agility. Despite her small stature, Rosie's competitive spirit burned bright. With a determined gleam in her eye, she knew she had to join the race and prove herself as the fastest runner in the meadow. But as Rosie made her way to the forest, she encountered a series of challenges along the way. Thick brambles blocked her path, and treacherous streams threatened to slow her down. Yet with each obstacle, Rosie pressed on, her determination unyielding. Finally, she arrived at the starting line of the race, where a crowd of eager spectators had gathered to watch the competition unfold. Among them stood creatures of all shapes and sizes, from swift-footed deer to nimble squirrels, each one ready to put their speed to the test. As the race began, Rosie felt her heart racing with excitement. With lightning-fast reflexes, she darted through the forest, her legs pumping with all her might. Despite the fierce competition, she remained focused on the finish line, determined to claim victory. But just as Rosie was nearing the end of the race, disaster struck. A sudden gust of wind sent a tree crashing down onto the path, blocking her way forward. With the other racers hot on her tail, Rosie faced a choice: give up and accept defeat, or find a way to overcome the obstacle and continue the race. Summoning all her courage and resilience, Rosie sprang into action. With nimble leaps and agile maneuvers, she navigated her way around the fallen tree, determined not to let anything stand in her way. And in the end, it was Rosie's unwavering determination and resilience that carried her across the finish line. The crowd erupted into cheers as she crossed the threshold, her heart soaring with triumph. From that day forward, Rosie was hailed as the resilient rabbit, a true hero of the meadow. And as she basked in the glow of her victory, she knew that no matter what challenges life may bring, with courage and determination, anything is possible. Once upon a time, in a lush meadow nestled between two rolling hills, there lived a timid bunny named Benny. Benny spent his days hopping around the meadow, nibbling on clover and dandelions. But deep down, he longed for adventure. One bright morning, as Benny was exploring the edge of the meadow, he spotted a group of woodland creatures gathered around a large oak tree. Curiosity piqued, Benny hopped closer to see what was happening. To his surprise, the animals were in distress. A mischievous fox had been terrorizing the forest, stealing food and causing chaos wherever he went. The animals were too scared to confront the fox, and they feared for their safety. Despite his timid nature, Benny couldn't bear to see his friends in trouble. With a determined thump of his foot, he declared, "I will stop the fox and bring peace back to the forest." The other animals exchanged worried glances. "But Benny," they said, "you're just a bunny. How can you hope to defeat a fox?" But Benny was undeterred. With a brave heart and unwavering determination, he set off into the depths of the forest, determined to face the fox and protect his friends. As Benny journeyed deeper into the forest, he encountered many obstacles along the way. He dodged thorny bushes, leaped over fallen logs, and tiptoed past slumbering bears. But through it all, he remained steadfast in his mission. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, Benny reached the fox's den. With a deep breath, he crept closer, his heart pounding in his chest. The fox spotted Benny and grinned wickedly. "Well, well, what do we have here?" he sneered. "A little bunny foolish enough to challenge me?" But Benny stood tall, his ears perked and his eyes shining with determination. "I may be small," he said, "but I have the courage of a lion and the heart of a hero. I won't let you harm my friends any longer." With a fierce battle cry, Benny launched himself at the fox, surprising him with his bravery and determination. The fox tried to fight back, but Benny was quick and nimble, dodging his attacks with ease. In the end, it was Benny's bravery that won the day. With a mighty leap, he sent the fox running from the forest, never to return again. The other animals cheered and celebrated Benny as their hero. Though he may have been small, he had proven that true courage knows no bounds. From that day forward, Benny was known as Brave Bunny, the fearless protector of the forest. And as he hopped back to the meadow, he knew that no matter how big or small you are, bravery will always lead you to victory. In a cozy corner of the forest, beneath the shelter of a thicket, there lived a little hedgehog named Hazel. Hazel was small and shy, but she had a heart as brave as a lion's. One sunny morning, as Hazel was out gathering berries for her breakfast, she heard panicked squeaks coming from a nearby clearing. Hurrying over, she found a group of woodland creatures huddled together, trembling with fear. "What's wrong?" Hazel asked, her voice quivering with concern. The animals explained that a fierce wildfire had broken out in the forest, spreading rapidly and threatening to consume everything in its path. They were too scared to confront the flames, and they didn't know what to do. Hazel's heart sank at the sight of her friends in distress, but she knew she couldn't just stand by and watch. With a determined flick of her spines, she declared, "I will save the forest and all who dwell within it." The other animals exchanged worried glances. "But Hazel," they said, "you're just a hedgehog. How can you hope to stop a wildfire?" But Hazel was undeterred. With a brave heart and unwavering determination, she set off into the heart of the blaze, her spines bristling with courage. As she neared the flames, Hazel could feel the heat washing over her, threatening to engulf her tiny frame. But she pressed on, weaving through the burning underbrush with agility and grace. At last, she reached the heart of the fire, where the flames raged with the ferocity of a dragon's breath. Without hesitation, Hazel began to dig furiously at the ground, creating a barrier to halt the fire's advance. The other animals watched in amazement as Hazel worked tirelessly, her determination never wavering. And slowly but surely, her efforts began to pay off. With each shovel of dirt, the flames grew weaker, until at last they flickered and died. The forest was saved, thanks to Hazel's bravery and quick thinking. The other animals cheered and celebrated her as their hero, showering her with gratitude and praise. From that day forward, Hazel was known as Heroic Hedgehog, the fearless protector of the forest. And as she curled up in her thicket that night, surrounded by the warm glow of her friends' gratitude, she knew that no matter how small you may be, bravery will always shine bright. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush green forest, there lived a little lion cub named Leo. Leo wasn't like the other lions in his pride. While they were strong and mighty, Leo was small and timid. His roar was barely a squeak compared to the thunderous roars of his elders. One sunny morning, as Leo was playing near the edge of the forest, he heard distressed cries coming from deeper within the woods. Curiosity piqued. Leo followed the sound until he stumbled upon a clearing where a group of animals had gathered in fear. At the center of the commotion stood a fierce dragon, its scales shimmering in the sunlight. The dragon had been terrorizing the forest, demanding food and treasure from the animals in exchange for their safety. But the animals had nothing left to give, and their fear kept them paralyzed. Leo's heart raced with fear, but he knew he couldn't just stand by and watch. Summoning every ounce of courage he had, he stepped forward and let out a feeble roar, hoping to distract the dragon. To Leo's surprise, the dragon turned its attention towards him, amused by the little lion's bravery. "What do we have here?" the dragon bellowed, its voice echoing through the forest. A tiny lion with a tiny roar. But Leo refused to back down. With newfound determination, he stood tall and let out another roar, louder and fiercer than before. Though still small, his roar was filled with courage and conviction. The dragon, taken aback by Leo's bravery, paused for a moment before bursting into laughter. "You think you can challenge me, little lion?" it scoffed. "I could crush you with a single breath." But Leo stood his ground, refusing to be intimidated. "I may be small," he said, "but I have a big heart and the courage to stand up for what's right." Impressed by Leo's spirit, the other animals began to rally behind him. offering their support and encouragement. Together, they devised a plan to outsmart the dragon and drive it away from the forest for good. With Leo leading the way, they launched their attack, using their wit and bravery to outmaneuver the dragon at every turn. And in the end, it was Leo's fearless roar that sent the dragon fleeing in terror, never to return to the forest again. From that day forward, Leo was hailed as a hero among the animals of the forest. Though he may have been small, his courage and bravery had proven that true heroes come in all shapes and sizes. And as for Leo, he had learned that sometimes the bravest adventures are undertaken not by the mightiest warriors, but by those with the courage to stand up for what they believe in, no matter how small they may be. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village nestled at the edge of a dense forest, there lived a curious and adventurous young girl named Sunny. With hair as golden as the sun and eyes as bright as the sky, Sunny was known far and wide for her brave spirit and kind heart. One sunny morning, while exploring the outskirts of the forest, Sunny stumbled upon a hidden path veiled by overgrown bushes and tangled vines. Intrigued by the mysterious trail, she decided to follow it, her heart pounding with excitement. As Sunny ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered all sorts of wondrous creatures, from playful squirrels to wise old owls. But just as she was beginning to lose herself in the beauty of the wilderness, she heard a faint cry for help echoing through the trees. Following the sound, Sunny soon came upon a clearing where a group of woodland animals had gathered in fear. Standing at the center was a ferocious bear, its massive frame casting a shadow over the trembling creatures. With courage burning in her heart, Sunny stepped forward, determined to help. "What's the matter?" she asked, her voice steady despite her fear. The animals explained that the bear, known as Grizzler, had been terrorizing the forest, demanding food and shelter from the smaller animals in exchange for their safety. But now, Grizzler had grown even more aggressive, threatening to destroy their homes if they didn't comply with his demands. Sunny's heart swelled with compassion for the frightened creatures. She knew she had to do something to help them, no matter how daunting the task. Summoning all her courage, Sunny approached Grizzler, her eyes blazing with determination. "You may be big and strong," she said, "but that doesn't give you the right to bully others." Grizzler snarled, towering over Sunny with a menacing glare. "And what do you plan to do about it, little girl?" he growled. But Sunny stood her ground, refusing to be intimidated. "I may be small," she said, "but I have the courage to stand up for what's right." With that, Sunny devised a clever plan to outsmart Grizzler and free the forest from his tyranny. With the help of her newfound animal friends, they lured Grizzler into a trap, using their wit and bravery to outmaneuver him at every turn. In the end, it was Sunny's unwavering courage and determination that saved the day. Grizzler was banished from the forest, never to threaten its inhabitants again. From that day forward, Sunny was hailed as a hero among the creatures of the forest. Though she may have been small, her bravery had proven that true heroes come in all shapes and sizes. And as for Sunny, she continued to embark on many more adventures in the forest, spreading kindness and joy wherever she went. For she knew that with a brave heart and a willing spirit, anything was possible.